And just like that, episode 18. And just like that, episode 18. 100 simple life truths. 100 simple life truths. Episode 18. I'm super mellow right now. I just woke up, to be honest with y'all. I woke up around 3 o'clock, and it's 8:24 and it's 4:31. I got home today from work around like 12, around like noon. And I chilled for a little bit. I took like an hour nap. I ate. And here I am, episode 18. I wanted to go over some things with y'all before I got into the actual book. Until I got into the actual reason why we're here, to learn something about ourselves. But we still gonna learn something about ourselves in this little opening monologue. I like to call it opening monologue. But I want y'all to think about something. And it's crazy that I want y'all to think about something, because what I want y'all to think about is thinking about what you're thinking about. And I want y'all to realize that you got to concentrate on the things that you're concentrating on, because we as humans, the things that we think about, and because we have a powerful brain, which it helps us formulate our thoughts, what we think about is like a magnifying glass. So anything that we think about, we're gonna set fire to. If you concentrating on the negativity or the negative in a situation, then the negative is just gonna keep piling on. If you concentrate and you focus on the positive side of whatever you're going through or whatever's going on, then the positive is gonna multiply. It's gonna set fire. It's gonna explode. It's gonna amplify. You got to think of yourself as a magnifying glass. And to go a little deeper into that, I heard a quote that said something like, a lighthouse can't look for light because the light comes from the lighthouse. So you are the light. So you do bring the positive. You do bring the positive. So you don't have to search for the light when you are the light. You don't have to search for the positive when you are the positive. You got to embody what you want to be. I'm sorry, I looked down because I got a notification on my phone about my call. That journey just threw me off. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, you gotta concentrate on the things that you're concentrating on. Like when you realize you having negative thoughts, switch it. Just like that, switch it. Step back, take a second, understand it, analyze it, and then move past it. Get right back into the positive. And don't digress. Like sometimes it's okay to digress, and you know what I mean, you get more outside information, or you get, whatever the case may be. It's 9 times out of 10 it's best to just stay on the path. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, but you gotta stay on the path. And you have to embody what you want to be. If you want to say your goal is to be rich, you got to put a dollar amount on that. You got to be very particular, very specific on what you want. And then you got to embody that. Say you want to be a millionaire, you got to start thinking and acting like a millionaire. Because a butterfly is not going to do what a caterpillar does. The caterpillar is the old version of you. The caterpillar was moseying along on the ground, walking, you know what I mean, whatever the case may be, and the butterfly is flying above. A caterpillar can't do what a butterfly does, and a butterfly can't do what a caterpillar does. So you got to figure out which version of you want to be and embody that. All right, let's get into episode 18. See if we can learn something about ourselves. Man, I think I've transcended. I honestly feel like I've transcended. I might actually send this episode out. I haven't been sharing this because it's really not. That's not really the purpose. You know what I mean? It's not really the purpose to get views, and I don't want people to view it. I want the right people to view it. You know what I mean? I want the right people to listen, to tune in, to understand. But I really feel like I've transcended. I've been getting so much knowledge, so much information in the last like couple days, and I've actually been like what I'm technically going through right now, my old self would have probably crumbled, man. Like the whole my car situation, you know what I mean? It's a lot. Like it's a lot going on that, you know, everybody don't need to know, because, you know, once you share it with the wrong people, you share things out loud, then, you know, you gotta keep things to yourself sometimes. But just know I'm transcending. I'm up. I'm crazy. It's crazy. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. My footsteps are ordered. Everything is in line. Everything is perfect. So I'm just here. I'm being the light. I'm being the light. I'm creating the light, and I'm magnifying it. You know what I mean? Anything that's given to me is gonna be given back to the universe 10 times more. And guess what? The universe is gonna give it back to me 100 times. And then you know what? I'm gonna take that 100 and give it back 10 times again. And it's just a cycle of give and take, give and take. Once you learn what the universe wants from you, and what the universe is giving you, and what you're supposed to be doing with what the universe gives you, then you can't make no mistakes. It's just part of the process. You creating your own path. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Honestly, I might not. Honestly, episode 18. I don't know. I might not even go based off this no more, man. Life is amazing. Life is amazing. I could just come on here and just talk now, like. But let's get into episode 18. It says, time heals all, but not on your schedule. It's just facts. It's just facts. You're gonna get to the destination. You're gonna get what you want, but it's gonna come when the universe is ready for you to have it. You could say, "Oh, next 5 years, I wanna buy a house. I wanna get this car, whatever the case may be." But guess what? Universe might give it to you in 6 years, but they might test you on that 5th year when you might lose faith. You know what I mean? And then you might be so servant. You might be so servant that the universe might give it to you in 2 years. Universe might give it to you in 3 years, 4 years. Universe might give it to you right in line with when you wanted to have it. So that's kind of a digression, because the title is Time Heals All, but not on your schedule. But I just took the schedule part and just ran with that. I guess I don't know what he's about to talk about, but we about to get into it right now. Time heals all, but not on your schedule. Excuse me. Random things trigger bad memories. Memories of an ex or a lost one. Memories of tragic experiences. Memories of a missed opportunity. And those triggers remind you that you're not completely over it. That's facts. That's facts. Sometimes the trigger itself comes back and triggers you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might have been in a certain place in your life, like geographically, and you go past that place again, and just everything just comes back. Sometimes your ex might hit you up, and then, you know, all those emotions come back. You know what I mean? Sometimes you might be out in public and you might see one of your ex bosses that fired you, or whatever the case may be. So triggers are all over the place. You might hear a song. A song could trigger you. It might be a song that you was in a certain place or a certain time in your life when the song came out, and it was your favorite song at that time. But then in hindsight, that was a bad time in your life at the same time. So now you're hearing the song again, it's bringing back all the memories of when you first heard that song. So yeah, I agree with that part. All you can do in those moments is remind yourself that pain can only exist when you're in the past. The past doesn't exist anymore, and that pain is as real as you allow it to be. You can combat that by focusing on the thing that you have, the present. And in the wise words of Kanye West, the present is a present. The present is your presence, and the present is a present. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all gonna get the reference, but Jay Black. I don't know if anybody knows who Jay Black is, but he has this it's all P's. I think it's proper preparation prevents poor performance, and I gotta find it. I'm probably gonna say it in the next episode, but it's facts. That's a digression. Let me continue. Snow melting, leaves growing, people aging, all happens at peace. Snow melting, flowers growing, people aging, all happens at a pace that wasn't destined to fit our patient level. Our patience and attention span continue to dwindle as our technological cultures pushes more towards the need for intimate gratification. Facts. That's 100%. Like, all these social medias and everything is at a click. Everything is literally at a click. Before, you had to sit there and read a whole book to get information. Now you just go right on Instagram, YouTube, Google, and everything is just right there. It's a gift and a curse because it's shortening our attention span. That's why the whole reels is like long form content, like kind of like what I put out, like these 10-minute, 20-minute videos. Like, people don't have the attention span to really sit and watch those, excuse me, or listen to those. You know what I mean? So yeah, I fully agree with attention spans just dwindling at I would say at a rapid pace, because this is what social media is pushing. They're pushing bite-sized, small form content, which is cool if it's beneficial, if you're actually learning something. But a lot of people get in a doom loop of just scrolling, and they can't remember. Once they get off, they can't remember like what it is that they just wasted 30-40 minutes on. So yeah, pay attention to what you pay attention to. Pay attention to what you pay attention to. Yeah, I mean, what you consume is what you know what I mean, you are what you consume. So change your algorithm. You can't change your algorithm. It's going to be hard, because I'm currently trying to change my algorithm right now. Like, around this time, I try to get my algorithm back onto like football and hockey, because those is starting back up. So right now my algorithm is really a lot of travel, a lot of like we could say personal growth content, some football, of course, there's women in there, and I think that's really it. So right now I'm trying to get my algorithm to just be like kind of like photography, back onto like photography, back onto like football, and back onto like hockey and stuff like that. So, and of course my algorithm always has like stock and like cybersecurity things in it. So that's what I'm trying to keep my algorithm sane. He goes on to say, the natural pace of things will never accommodate you, so maybe you should take steps to accommodate it. Doing things to speed up the process may do the opposite. Don't try to numb the pain. That may just delay the healing. I agree. I'm thinking about this in a different sense, because I'm not in pain, so I'm not resonating with the pain aspect. I'm resonating with the growth aspect of it, in terms of you might want to, in terms of like, say your goal is to be a millionaire and you want to make a quick buck, so you know, do whatever the case may be to make that quick buck, but it's really just putting you back, because the time that you wasting, not necessarily wasting, but the time that you spending to get that little quick buck is, you could be doing the long-term goal. Like, you could be home studying, coming up with a master plan, instead of going to get those small quick dollars that's never going to really add up. So he's talking about pain, getting over pain and trauma and shit like that. But I got pain, I got trauma, but that don't resonate with me right now. Like, it's not hitting. It's not. I don't know. For some reason, it's just not hitting. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm like, I have no pain, no trauma. Like, my past is crazy. Like, when I write my book and y'all read it, y'all gonna be like, yo, how did, like, bro, I've been through some things, but I don't have no pain and I don't have no trauma. Like, that's not what I identify with. You know what I mean? It happened, it's the past, cool. What I'm doing for my goal is so focused on the future that all that stuff that happened in the past don't really, even when I'm sitting here reading it and the title is Time Heals All But Not on Your Schedule, like, honestly, I'm healed already. I can't say I'm healed, you know what I mean? Because sometimes I still think about it, it comes up, whatever the case may be, but it doesn't, I'm not super affected by it. It's more of a learning process when I go and start thinking about the things that I did in my past, and It comes up when certain situations come back up, and then I just be like, all right, this is what I did in the past, what I'm going to do in the future. What will my future self do? Because this is what you need to understand. We're caterpillars right now, and we need to act like butterflies. So what would a butterfly do in this situation? Butterfly wouldn't walk away. The butterfly will fly away. He goes on to say, focus on your relationship with yourself and what you need to improve from the situation you're in. Exactly. And I've been doing that. I've been focusing on my failures rather than whatever failures of the situation that was, you know what I mean? Like, what was my part in that failure? And once you're content with that, and once you know what it is, it's so much easier for you to move on, or not necessarily move on, but it's so easier for you to learn. It helps you learn yourself. You know what I mean? You got to learn yourself in order to unlearn yourself, if that makes sense. In order to change, you got to know what you need to change. No one knows what's best for you better than you, which is true. And some of us don't have the discernment to act on what's better for us. Because me, I'll tell you straight up, I'll know. Like, this ain't what's best for me. But I'll still do it. And that's something I'm still trying to like work on that, because I still do things that I know is like, bro, I shouldn't be doing this. I'll be sitting there like, I should not be doing this. This is not conducive to what my cognitive functions are, and it's just gonna put me back into a space, or it's gonna put me in a space that I already know I shouldn't be in. But you know, this is where learning yourself is, and this is why I said last episode, you put yourself in certain situations just to see how you will react, knowing that you put yourself into a situation knowing win or loss, you won't be affected by it. So he goes on to say, there's a lot of awesomeness hiding inside. All you have to do is explore, which is true. This whole series is about exploring ourselves and learning simple things that most of us already knew. It's simple. Like, a lot of the things that I've went over already is things that we already know. It's just sometimes you gotta hear it. We all learn. I was talking to one of my friends earlier today, because I was watching a video on YouTube earlier today as well, and it was explained to me. The topic is something that I already knew, but it was explained in such a way that related to me, that it stuck more than any other time that I went through that knowledge. So exploring different avenues of yourself and different ways of exploring that yourself in different ways, if that makes sense. I feel like I just talked in a loop, but whatever. If you listen to episode 1, in episode 1, I said that a lot of these topics are going to be repetitive and just said in different ways. And it's going to sound like I'm repeating myself, but I am, but I'm conveying it different ways for different people, so that different people could latch on to certain episodes and resonate with it more, if that makes sense. The last part of this chapter says, you're not allowing time to take its course. Time doesn't require your permission. Instead, you're respecting time and saving your grief for the process. Saving yourself grief in the process. Saving yourself grief in the process. So I fully agree with this chapter personally, even though I agree from the outside looking in as somebody that is more healed than not. I'm not fully healed. I understand I got things that I need to still work on, but I understand the premise of this chapter fully. And I hope you do too. I hope you learn something about yourself. This episode is not necessarily it's kind of short, but I don't really have much more to say on this. This is episode 18. Episode 19, I'm probably going to do tomorrow, which is Friday. And then episode 20, I'm definitely going to do on Saturday. If I do 19 tomorrow, I'll do 20 on Saturday. And 20, I have an idea for 20, but I'm not too sure. Depending on how I feel personally, I may or may not do what I planned. So no promises, but I will be there. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna show up. I'm not gonna tell you how I'm gonna show up. Just know I will be there. Cause, you know, other than that, I love y'all. Be safe.